Если он сработает. Мам, не нужны. Сейчас спросим.
Get out of there. I'm starting to regret my idea.
Nature is predictable, but encounters with humans and the supernatural are quite the opposite. From a lone camper being stalked by a silent man in an off-road vehicle, to a mysterious figure caught hiding in the ruins of Prypiat, these stories prove that empty spaces are rarely truly empty. When the atmosphere changes, will you trust your intuition or your equipment? In October 2022, a solo camper from the YouTube channel Alyssa Vanilla parked her van on remote BLM land outside Tucson, Arizona. Her content focuses on solo female van life, long stretches of driving quiet campsites, and the realities of living alone in wide open spaces. That day, temperatures climbed close to 100 degrees. The desert felt empty, and a single tree provided the only shade for miles. The setting felt remote and controllable until someone became aware of her presence.
Currently, I think it's like 96 degrees, and I'm parked, as you can kind of see by the shadow, in front of a tree. The one tree I found in the desert, thank God. Oh my God, I'm getting bit by fire ants. What the hell? Dude, I was like, what's stinging me? Okay, I needed some space to myself. I've been in the city for a few days. I did laundry today, so I need a place to just put my laundry away. So I was in town and I just grabbed a pizza and then came out here. I need space to myself. I want to test to see if I'll make it in courtside, but it is really hot. Again, if this tree was not here, I wouldn't be.
She starts by settling into the campsite, concentrating on routine tasks like cleaning, organizing, and dealing with ants moving through the heat. The van sits beneath a lone tree surrounded by open desert in every direction. The area feels still almost unnervingly so, with no sign of other campers nearby. As she works, the feeling of total isolation becomes more apparent, right before the sound of an engine interrupts the silence.
I'm just kind of checking, making sure everybody's got enough water. And
Oh, okay. Are you a ranger or?
no, I just live close. So I kind of come out and check, make sure, because I know there's a lot of people that come out here that don't have a lot.
I'm fine right now.
I had shit stolen from my house 2 years ago, so I started making myself open to people that were out here, giving them my name so they knew who I was.
Yeah.
You know what? It's worked for me. Nobody steals shit from my house anymore.
And what is your name?
Johnny. If you need water, I have a hose outside that runs all the time. Stop there, fill your water jugs, whatever you need. And those that I get to know well enough, they're welcome to actually come in and use the shower a couple times a week. I'm
that's
not
nice.
home. My wife is. My children are. So if you need a shower, you're welcome to, come by. It would probably work better if you came by while I was there a couple of times, just so my wife gets to know you, so she doesn't think there's something stupid going on.
Right.
Stop by.
Okay, well, thank you.
A man approaches and identifies himself as John, claiming he lives nearby and checks on people camping in the area. His manner is relaxed and friendly, almost practiced. He mentions water talks about his home and even suggests access to a shower. None of his comments are directly threatening, but the offers feel unnecessary. The longer he remains talking, the harder it becomes to ignore how closely he is watching her in the van.
Hey,
Hi.
so you have a guy on the mountain up there that is watching you with binoculars.
Okay, well, that's unnerving. Well, I guess I won't be staying.
Well, it's not that you can't stay. Just, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
The other side of the mountain is safer.
Really?
Yes. He's driving a older Dodge pickup, and he told me he comes out here and offers water to people, but I would stay away from him. He told me he parks up there and looks around to see who might need water, who might need this, who might need that. You see that white truck? Underneath the tree? Come out here and I'll show you. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's also just odd that there's not really anybody out here.
Get a good description of that truck. It's white and burgundy. Honestly, I'd move to the other side.
I did want to stay, but if there's somebody watching me, then obviously I don't think I should stay out here at all.
After he leaves, the quiet returns briefly. This time the stillness feels heavier. Then John returns. He warns her that another man is watching from the mountain and suggests she relocate to the opposite side of the hill. She looks toward the slope but sees nothing. No vehicle, no movement, no evidence, just open terrain. As she begins packing up to leave, John stays close.
So just finishing up my laundry and then I'll probably have to leave, but that's okay. Do you need anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
He sits on his ATV silent watching. He gives no explanation. He does not leave. The silence stretches longer than before, filled with unanswered questions. She finishes loading the van and drives away, choosing distance before the unease can deepen. Many viewers later questioned whether the warning was meant as protection or as a way to gauge her response. The changing story, the silence, and the insistence on moving locations raised concerns. If the danger was never visible, what was the warning really meant to accomplish? In October 2023, a solo survival journey from the YouTube channel Outdoor Boys unfolds deep within the rainforest of Southeast Alaska. The channel centers on camping survival techniques and extended stays in harsh wilderness environments. Luke enters the rainforest alone, surrounded by saturated ground, thick vegetation, and constant damp air. The arrival of the plane is delayed, and that delay makes the isolation feel immediate. In a forest where moisture never truly leaves solitude feels less like adventure and more like uncertainty.
Look at this place, it's a cold jungle. Everything is covered in moss. Well, this is the lake I was trying to find. Unfortunately, I'm on the wrong end of the lake. Hold on. There's a little something over there. Check it out, it's an old trolley. All the wood's rotted away, but you can still see the metal frame. You can see the trolley pretty good here. I think normally the water level's a little bit lower and you can walk out to that thing. Look at this. There we go, we got ourselves a nice little shelter. Oh, that's delicious. It's not fancy, but it's warm and it's quick. Two things I really appreciate right now.
While moving along the water's edge, he comes across an old rusted trolley resting quietly beside the lake. The metal structure is damaged and heavily corroded, clearly left behind long ago. It feels misplaced, like a reminder that people once came here and not all departures were clean or final. The first day passes without issue. Luke secures shelter, prepares food, and settles in. Everything functions as expected. The forest feels controllable, but the second day changes the atmosphere.
Rumor has it there's brook trout in this lake, and I haven't caught a brook trout in a long time. Fishing isn't going great, the rain's picking up, and I am soaked to the bone. I think I might head back. I think I need to do something to warm myself up, and I got an idea. I'm starting to regret my idea. Okay, half of me is being boiled alive, half of me is freezing to death, and there's just a little bit of sweet spot. Oh, I think I've got the temperature dialed in pretty good. That hot water pipe is just a touch too hot, so I got a little bit of that warm waterfall coming in, mixing with it, just perfect. Between the hiking and the canoeing, I'm a little salt, pepper, a little pork jowl bacon on there, green onion, and a whole bunch of cilantro. There we go. Even with the dry kindling, that fire isn't taking aggressively. There's so much humidity in the air. I put these wet pieces of wood up here so they can dry, but they'll also act as a roof if it starts to rain, which will protect the fire. That smells good. I gotta tell you what, I'm feeling very fortunate right now. Got a nice warm fire. The rain has been really light. I got a full belly. Really, the only thing I can complain about right now is that I've got 2 visitors. No, get out of my tent. There's mice all over. Oh, mice can cause a lot of damage. Anything fuzzy, they want to steal it and take it to their nest.
He decides to fish for salmon. Conditions shift quickly. Rain increases, soaking his clothing and equipment. Cold and wet, he turns back, forced to focus on maintaining body heat. To recover, he returns to a hot spring he located earlier. The warmth offers relief, but staying too long risks injury, and stepping away means immediate cold. Safety and danger exist side by side. Later, starting a fire becomes difficult due to the extreme humidity. Inside the tent, mice begin disturbing the shelter, preventing proper rest. The following day, Luke packs up and moves to the beach to wait for the plane.
Well, I got a bit of bad news. I just got a message from the pilot that they're weathered in at Ketchikan, and they can't come get me. Don't know how long it's gonna last. All I know is the pilot said he'd give me an update in 2 hours. I need to get out of this rain. I'm getting soaked. I'm wet from the waist down and a little bit cold, but at least I'm not in the rain anymore. Well, the rain eased up and I got a message from the pilot. They're still socked in Ketchikan, so I'm not getting rescued anytime soon. I'm freezing. I'm just gonna walk up and down this beach till I'm warm.
Rain continues. Then a message arrives. The plane cannot land due to weather. Waiting stretches on for hours, turning a planned trip into true isolation. After 5 hours in cold rain, the plane finally arrives. Luke returns home safely, leaving the forest behind, but not without impact. Viewers noted that the most unsettling element wasn't wildlife, but uncertainty. Delays, weather, and isolation slowly altered this situation. When rescue depends entirely on factors beyond control, how quickly does preparation stop being enough? In April 2020, a solitary night takes place near Lake Superior in Two Harbors, Minnesota. The footage comes from the YouTube channel Mav, known for fishing excursions, road travel, and sleeping in a truck at quiet outdoor locations. Mav identifies a spot that appears suitable for an overnight truck camp positioned close to where he plans to fish. But after observing the surroundings more closely, small details begin to challenge that sense of security.
Alright, so I need to get the heck out of this spot. I originally picked that spot because that's where I was gonna fish in the morning. But there's like a bunch of cars driving around there. I talked to one of the kids and he's a high schooler from the area. It's kind of annoying, like, having people drive by and, like, I don't know, zipping on past all the time. So we're gonna find a different spot.
The area feels less like a quiet pull-off and more like a place where people stop and remain. With several vehicles nearby, he decides to move on and search for a different location. Later that night, however, he returns to the same spot, unaware that this decision will make the night anything but calm.
Kind of a weird little stealth camping, boondocking type deal I've got going on tonight. I'm not gonna have this light on in here for very long because people can probably see pretty well. The salmon like to bite, apparently right when it turns light out, so I'm gonna wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Alright, so there's people right outside. I know you can't see me right now, but I can't risk turning on any lights.
Alright, well, they just want to hang out and play music, that's fine.
Once settled, Mav switches into stealth mode. Interior lights are turned off, and movement inside the truck is kept to a minimum. Too many people had passed through earlier, and avoiding attention feels necessary. Even in complete darkness, the area feels exposed as though the truck can still be noticed without being seen.
Alright, so my main camera has died. It's about 2:30 in the morning. There was like 2 kids out this way. I woke up to like, it sounded like something dragging on the ground. Sounded like it was in like this general direction and close to the truck. It had to have been close. This dragging goes on and then all of a sudden there's a pop. 2 more hours, 3 more hours to sleep. So I'm gonna try to do that.
As he tries to rest, unfamiliar noises interrupt the quiet. Engines rev in the distance, voices carry through the night. Then sharp popping sounds break out, sudden, loud, and close. Whatever is happening, it seems to be occurring nearby with no clear way to judge the distance or intent.
Last night, I was doing some thinking after I shut the camera off. I realized that there's a metal garbage can about 50 yards this way. So I believe those kids were dragging out a garbage can and shooting it with a .22. I did hear one of the kids yell, "Ow," after the last shot went off, and then heard a ricochet from the garbage can, heard the kid yell, "Ow," and then I never heard him again. Maybe one of them got hit or something, but it was so close to my truck, and if that was the garbage can they were shooting at, it's likely that they're shooting like right towards this way. It is so chilly. Alright folks, well, we're walking out onto this freshwater jetty. Jeez.
By morning, the cause becomes visible. Roughly 50 yards from the truck, a metal trash can bears fresh bullet holes from a .22 caliber round. Mav believes the same group from the night before dragged it out and used it for target practice. The disturbance now has physical evidence. Despite the cold wind and the wait of the night before Mav heads to the lake to fish, conditions are harsh. After around 45 minutes, he stops and leaves, carrying the sense that the night ended without clear answers. Many viewers felt the most disturbing element wasn't the sound itself, but the uncertainty, people nearby, limited visibility, and no obvious escape. When danger comes from careless behavior rather than clear intent, how do you decide whether staying still is safer than leaving? In 2022, an unsettling piece of content surfaced on YouTube after being uploaded by a user browsing through Google Street View. The individual was virtually navigating the streets of Prypiat, an abandoned city in Ukraine located near the border with Belarus. Prypiat was once home to almost 50,000 residents, most of whom were employed at the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant, before the 1986 catastrophe forced a full evacuation. Today, the city stands as a preserved ghost town, known for its haunting landmarks, including the deteriorating amusement park and its corroded Ferris wheel. What the user came across, however, suggested the city might not be completely empty. In the footage, a woman can be seen standing behind a tree, partially obscured by the metal structure of the Ferris wheel. The figure is easy to miss at first, but once noticed, her presence feels deliberate, as if she is trying not to be seen. Why she was there, or what she was doing in that location, remains entirely unclear. The moment is deeply unsettling, especially given that Prypiat is not meant to have any residents. It raises uneasy questions about what may still linger in places believed to be deserted. There's no confirmed explanation for her appearance. Do you think some places are never truly empty? On September 14th, 2024, a man from Russia uploaded a video to YouTube that remains deeply unsettling to watch. At the time, he was walking alone through a remote stretch of wilderness when he encountered something he would not soon forget.
Бросила вас мамка. Да. Что, все, пойдем домой? Пойдем домой. Мамка, не нужны мы. Бросила. Маманя, тебе дети нужны?
A large black bear is seen moving calmly near him, accompanied by 2 cubs staying close at her side. The animal comes within just a few feet of the man passing directly beside him without displaying any signs of aggression or defensive behavior. The man stays composed as the mother bear, and her cubs continue to move slowly around him. The situation feels extremely tense, as though it could turn dangerous at any moment, yet it never does. The encounter ends without sudden movement or an attack. What makes the video stand out is how ordinary the moment appears despite the obvious risk. Watching someone remain so calm with a bear only feet away is difficult to comprehend, especially considering how unpredictable such encounters typically are. Some viewers suggest the bear may have been accustomed to humans or previously fed, which could explain the calm reaction. Even so, experts continue to warn that wild bears are unpredictable and should never be approached. Luke has a strong passion for the outdoors. He spends a large part of his life camping not only for the scenery, but because he genuinely enjoys being immersed in nature. On his channel, he frequently talks about his gear, and in a video uploaded on March 20th of 2025, he ventures into the wilderness to explore a rugged mountain known as Devil's Throne.
This is an episode that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and that includes myself. This is my 4th time to the Devil's Throne over the years, and every single time I've experienced some odd things. Already, I've had 2 experiences just coming up the mountain here. I'm not alone up here. Something is with me. I hear footsteps, I drop my pack, I take off running, I can find nothing. I make it back to my pack, I'm hearing footsteps again.
It was a trip many viewers were looking forward to, especially due to the area's reputation. Unusual incidents seem to occur each time he goes there. Even before reaching the mountain, thick fog moves in creating an uneasy atmosphere. As he climbs higher, he starts to hear unexplained noises. These aren't caused by wind or rustling branches, but distinct heavy footsteps coming from straight ahead. Each time he stops to look, there's no one there. Despite this, he continues with his plan to camp overnight, unaware of what may follow. Devil's Throne itself is a massive rock structure formed from layered stone that extends outward from the mountaintop. Because of its size, it creates natural cover, allowing anyone beneath it to stay dry even during bad weather.
This large rock structure, everyone, is the Devil's Throne. Basically, it's a series of rocks stacked on top of each other. It is extremely cool because of the size of this. When you're underneath this gigantic rock, it could be storming outside, and underneath here, you will stay dry.
After a long hike, Luke reaches his campsite, sets up his gear, makes coffee, and enjoys a short moment of peace. For a brief time, everything's completely quiet. That quiet doesn't last. An unfamiliar sound breaks the stillness.
I wish I could tell you all what that is. Like, it's like just out of my reach as far as my hearing goes, you know? It's like one of those things where, like, if it was just a little bit louder, but I can't. It sounds weird though, that's for sure. When I was hiking up the mountain, I heard footsteps. I heard that strange noise. I hear it again now. I wanted to come up here, spend the night, see what happens, and I will share with you all my experiences. Already a bit strange, you know what I mean?
And Luke can't tell where it's coming from or what's causing it. The sense of isolation fades, replaced by the feeling that something else is close by. Later, as night settles in and he prepares his next meal, the sounds return.
I am still hearing that sound. It's pretty loud too. Closer. Unfortunately, it's too foggy, the rocks are too wet to go mess around in the dark. Basically, I'm hunkered down for the night. That is so weird. There's that noise again. Every time I hear it, it sounds like it's in a different place. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be coming any closer. Like when we were eating, it was pretty loud, but now it's fairly far off. And that makes it kind of strange, you know what I mean?
Thick fog and slick rocks keep him from moving, while the noises continue shifting position, but never fully stopping. Combined with the earlier footsteps, the situation becomes hard to dismiss. especially since he is entirely alone on the mountain. The sounds may have a natural cause, but their timing and movement remain difficult to explain. Do you think this was wildlife, or something that still can't be explained? A content creator known for exploring sites linked to unexplained phenomena returns to a location that has stayed with him for years. In a video uploaded on December 11th, 2025 on the channel Tim Morozov, Tim revisits an abandoned estate often called Vonnegut Castle, a place he says left a lasting and deeply personal mark on him from his very first visit. Tim explains that this was one of the earliest locations where he felt what he describes as true mysticism. It wasn't fear alone that lingered, but a powerful sense of connection. During a visit years earlier, he believes he encountered more than simple paranormal activity, something far more unsettling. Tim says his cameras recorded what looked like a living being observing him from a distance. Whatever it was never attacked, but the unanswered encounter that is something he has never been able to forget. After years of staying away, Tim finally returns. From the moment he arrives, the place feels changed. The estate is more overgrown, more deteriorated, and visibly unstable. Collapsing walls and dense vegetation surround the structure. What once intrigued him now fills him with anxiety, and standing there, he feels a strong urge to leave, as if the building itself is pushing him away. Despite that instinct, Tim proceeds with his investigation. He sets up equipment intended to detect and amplify paranormal activity, placing devices near the entrance where the figure was once recorded, and positioning cameras throughout the estate.
Надеюсь, я услышу отсюда прибор, если он сработает. И если меня кто-нибудь слышит, дайте знак или ответьте мне.
As night falls and he moves deeper inside, the atmosphere begins to shift. Tim acknowledges that some might suggest an animal could explain the disturbances, but he insists the equipment responds only to paranormal energy. He adjusts the devices, convinced something has entered the building.
Кто здесь?
For a moment, he considers the possibility of another person being inside, but quickly dismisses it. The estate is too isolated, with no nearby roads or signs of human activity.
Черт. Снова что-то отбросило мою камеру.
As the night continues, the experience feels disturbingly familiar. Tim admits he doesn't capture clear footage of the entity, but the sensation is unmistakable. He expands his setup, placing cameras on multiple levels, including the basement, and positioning a thermal camera near the entrance, even as the structure becomes increasingly dangerous to move through. Without realizing it at the time, one of the cameras records something unusual.
Снова на этом месте сигнал. Сейчас он не прекращается.
Hours later, as morning approaches, the activity fades. There's no direct encounter or clear reveal, and by the time Tim leaves, it feels as though whatever was inside has retreated. It isn't until he returns home that he notices what he missed, a mist-like figure moving silently through part of the castle. That discovery changes everything. Whatever occupies the estate never fully revealed itself, but it left something behind. Sometimes what goes unnoticed in the moment is what lingers the longest.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.